Brilliant. Okay, then. That should be me on. I seem to be making things move, so I presume that's okay. Let me just check. Yep. I might need to turn it. For some unknown reason, whenever I use something like Zoom or Teams or something like that, it always decides to reset my recording level. It goes from 100 down to 75, and I don't. And if anybody knows why that would happen, because I feel that I'm a bit quiet at the moment, but we'll see. Tell Purdy I said hi. Yeah, she says hi back to you, I assure you, Visto. Just to let you know, there's two things we've got to discuss. There's a rule change, but also after we've tidied up this adventure, you will be getting 8 experience rolls. But just to let you know, Purdy has those 8 experience rolls as well. Okay?
Oh my.
I will roll the rolls to see whether or not they increase, but it's up to you as a party what she actually wanted to improve upon or to get a new skill or whatever. So hello everyone from Twitch. Welcome to is this episode 5 or 6?
I want to say 5.
5 seems,
yeah.
5 seems
Yes, 5
about
seems
right. Yeah. So episode 5 of M Space, which is Mithras in Space, and it's called the Voltaris campaign 42-7. And the party, we finished after a nice combat, and they had just taken out a person while Minsk was driving the car. Correct me if I got this right. I get it wrong. Minsk was driving the car. Yep. Newman was in the front. Minsk drew up next to.
No, Newman was in the rear, wasn't he?
Was he in the? Was Newman in the back?
I was at least on a side where my gun was out the window.
Okay, and you managed to get the window down. The guy tried to take a pot shot and missed. And then Newman took the guy out, and that's when we'll be starting to play in a second. But I have a problem for you, or rule interpretation, before you introduce your characters. Okay then, so you all have a combat skill for ranged weapons. This only applies for ranged weapons. And there is an action in Mithras Space called Take Cover. Now, Take Cover is the equivalent of parry. And your Take Cover skill is the same as your combat style skill. So just like in Mithras, if you're fighting with a sword, you'll either do attack or you'll do parry. The same happens in M Space. You would roll your shotgun skill, say, and or if somebody was shooting at you, you would elect to take cover as your action, the same as parrying, and then you would roll to see if the shot avoided you. Just to remind you that you need some form of cover. You can't be in a completely blank open desert and decide to take cover, but in those circumstances you can evade and you can dive to one side. Okay then, so let's stick with attacking and taking cover. So the normal rules apply. Okay, so you would, if one person gets a success and the other person doesn't, then that's a special, etc., etc. Now, there is no rules as to what happens if the person shooting gets a success and the person defending gets a success. So they've both succeeded. Okay, so one person has decided to dive for cover and the other person has hit them. Okay, so imagine you're approaching a mob that's behind a crate. He pops up, he fires his weapon, you return fire, you get a success, but he gets a success to take cover. Okay then, so here's my issue. Both people succeed. I think if the take cover succeeds as well, then we should play half damage. So you have hit, but you're doing half damage because you didn't hit it completely. Now, my issue is, what happens if you're behind a crate? Okay, so I fire at you as you're taking cover behind the crate. You succeed, but I succeed as well. So you're taking half damage. Should a hit location be rolled? Okay.
Yeah. If we're doing the half damage thing, yeah, I think hit location should be rolled. But obviously, it's what part of the body, what body parts being exposed.
Yeah. So technically,
Yeah.
if you've taken cover, you're getting clipped because you're taking damage. Now, in my head, therefore, I can't. Do we play? Okay, then they still roll a hit location. They got 2, which is a leg, so the bullet came through the crate and hit you in a leg.
Mm-hmm.
Or do we say, well, the actual only area of the guy that you're fighting, shooting, is sort of like his top end. So we actually roll a d10 and add 10 to it, which gives you those upper body locations. Or do we roll a d20 and you just take your chance? But your special could be choose location. So you actually choose the head. Does that make sense?
I personally think you could role play it. I mean, if you're diving behind a crate or a boulder or whatever, you know the action you're taking, the direction you're going.
Yeah,
So
but yeah. Go ahead.
I think the person who's diving for cover should say, right, I'm diving this way, and common sense would say, right, you flipped my right shoulder because I was diving left.
So it would normally be
dial,
them.
Yeah.
It normally would be, so you're shooting at my mob, you scored a hit, I scored to take cover. So really and truly, the only bit that is visible because he's firing over the top of his crate is his top half.
Mm.
Yeah.
So there, in that case, therefore, we would roll a 1d10 and add 10 to the, or do you have to just roll a normal d20 and it might hit the crate? That's the quandary that I'm in.
I see. Yes. So
I'd imagine if
lower.
I'd imagine that if both are successful in the rolls and so someone's gonna get hit, but it's gonna be half damage.
Yeah.
The special of choose location should not be an option.
It could always be an option, because even though you might just be hitting the top half because that's the areas of the body that are revealed, you could still choose location and say head.
Okay, choose location is just not available for the bottom half. Is what
Because you could, because there are rules to go through barriers. So you can go for it.
But what if it's go ahead.
The choose location special is only from a distance. It's not from close range, though, is it?
No, for range.
Sorry. It's only from close range. So
correct.
It's not from a distance. Yeah. Yes.
But you have to remember, I was trying to. What's the blasters? So a normal blaster pistol is 10 meters. That's its close range area. So that I tend to think that we're normally in about 10 meters when we're actually fighting. Listen, I'll let you have a think about it, and then we can play it one way when we get to a combat and see how it goes, and then we can reassess. Mr. Pickles, you've been very quiet. Are you still connected?
Yeah, I should still be connected. I was just letting people talk. Because really what I think is it almost seems to come down to whatever the cover is. Like if it's paper thin wall, should you really get like damage halved just because you shot through it? Because that wouldn't provide much cover. Whereas like a metal building might provide like more cover than necessary for my shotgun. My shotgun probably wouldn't make it through a whole like sea container without a few blasts.
So that completely and utterly works. So, and that's what happens. So say for example, I'm firing at Newman and you take cover and succeed, then it's thought that even though my shot has missed, I would probably rule that it either shot over your head or into the crate, because it's not doing any damage to you. it's when we both succeed. That's when I understand it's half damage, but I get really in a befuddled when we get to choose location. You know, because I can imagine that I would be quite peeved as a player. You know, if I rolled, I've hit, or a critical hit, and then or max damage, and you roll a d20 and it goes into its leg, which is behind a crate, and it doesn't do, some of it comes through for half damage or not, I don't know. Anyway, we keep thinking about it, because I'll be interested in what you think. But before we go any further, I'm going to allow the players an opportunity to say who they are and who they will be playing in tonight's adventure. And we'll start off with you, Mr. Pickles.
I am Mr. Pickles, and I play Zach Newman, which is our group's shotgun-wielding law enforcer, well, ex-law enforcer, stick in the mud, not very charismatic character. He's very tough, and is always ready to throw down and to punch people out or break up any chaos. He also tends to be very grim, and I think we found out a few things from the last episode, but I'm gonna need to review my notes while everybody else is talking. But I feel like there's more and more connections between Zach and this planet than I had initially thought.
Ooh.
But with that, I'm gonna put my shotgun down and pass the mic to Medivac.
I'm intrigued now. Go for it, Medivac. Sorry.
Hi, everybody. It's called Crawl, I think. Sorry, right. Hi, everybody. I'm Medivac, and I play a lovely, amazing person called James Mintz. He's the most charismatic person you will ever meet. He's a pilot. He's a dashing rogue. He's a leader. He's a champion for the people. Almost. In his own head, anyway. He just... He's in his mid-20s. He grew up on a space station and then went down to a lovely desert planet to hone his skills. Oh, was he just kicked off? Who knows? But yes, he's very good with his pulled-out blaster. He can drive. He can fly ships. He's pretty damn funky. That's all I'm going to say. And with that, I'm going to pass on to Captain Kangaroo.
Everyone, I'm Captain Kangaroo. Today I'm playing Arthur Hammond. He is the do-all fixer of the group. He fixes things. He supplies robots to help in battles and other things. I'll describe him. He's kind of like Dr. Farnsworth from Futurama if he had the personality of James Bond.
The only person I understood in there was James Bond, just to let you know.
Okay, well, that's fine. That's fine. He's I think we've kind of slowly figured out as we go through our reveal through each episode that he's probably a little bit more involved with the issues that we're running into than he remembers. We're finding random technologies that he remembers that he actually made or was involved with it. So hopefully by the end of this episode, we there's a reveal of, oh wow, this is actually the technical ability of this character.
Nice.
From there, I'm going to pass the mic to our lovely GM in Wills.
Thank you. And just to let you know, the fourth member of the party currently is a robot called Purdy, who is generally a medic robot. She provides medical care for the party, as well as scanning sensors, things like that, alerting the party. She's quite approachable, but does tend to be sarcastic a lot at any opportunity, and she has a real dislike for public network systems or charging stations. Basically, she says she has no idea what is actually what she might catch from a public charging station. Okay, so the party right at the beginning of this series of sessions lost their memory, hence what Hammond was saying about slowly gaining things back, and what Newman might have hinted at in his introduction. The party are gradually getting information back. They are allowed to make a roll every now and again to see what they remember, and they have been following their last leads from their last job. and they were following these leads, and they came out to a mining hub on Arid, which is basically a dry, dusty, think of Tatooine, and you're there. And they found a really dehydrated or desiccated body and corpse there. And then while they were there, they were attacked by some people on motorbikes. Newman took out one coming towards him with a massive shotgun shell blast to his chest that virtually went straight through the protector and knocked the other person off the back of the bike who did a runner. Minsk went to a car, took cover in his car while using Purdy as a human shield or robotic shield as she ran across being fired at. He then proceeded to use his car as a ram or as some kind of attacking weapon, which proved very successful. And right near the end, they had cover fire from up above from drones as well. And right near the end, one of the protectors, the thugs, were getting away. And Minx drove his car, caught up with his car. And as they got closer and closer to the guy, Newman wound down the window. The thugs saw them appearing and let out a shot towards the car, with luckily missed. And then Newman let off his shotgun, which I think is probably the most lethal weapon that this party has, and blasted him. And he's not dead. He's just no, he's not even. He's just out of commission, and he sort of like fell down to the ground. Did you hit him in a leg?
Yes, you did.
I don't remember now. I thought I hit him in the torso for some reason.
You hit him in a fall.
Leg, 8 points. Yeah, left leg 8 points.
Oh, yeah.
That's -3.
So yeah, you whacked him in a leg that took him out, and he failed his.
I just said capture him.
Yeah, he failed his endurance roll, so his leg gave way, and he's now out for the count. Well, he's still conscious. He's just got a massive shotgun blast in his thigh, probably, and he sort of like stumbled to the ground, and he's trying his best. He's trying his best to get away. Minsk, we'll probably come straight to you. I'm going to take us out of combat rounds at the moment because we don't actually need them. But Minsk, you're driving the car, so you're probably the best person to start off what's going to happen next. Yeah, go for it.
If this guy's still trying to move away, I'm just going to pull up again. We need to talk to him. So I will pull over.
Yeah, so he's sort of like crawling away perpendicular to your route with your car. He's not going anywhere. He seems to be trailing his leg, and there's quite a copious amount of blood that's coming out of the shotgun blast that the Arid sands are instantly absorbing as some kind of life-giving nutrient. And he's sort of like crawling along, sort of like almost like doing a commander crawl. He seems to have left his weapon as well. You can see that.
Not a problem. I'll come to a halt and say, Newman, go stabilize.
Finish him.
Go get him and stabilize him. Yeah. Take Purdy with you, and she can stabilize him, and then let's get some answers from him.
Okay.
All right, Purdy, come with me.
Oh, yes.
I'm like going over.
And she sort of like toddles up in her robotic manner. Oh dear. This person is severely wounded, Zach. He seems to have taken a rather large shotgun blast to his thigh.
Yes, that's exactly what happened. But Captain wants you to fix him up, and well, I suppose he's going to be bleeding out pretty shortly, so we should make haste or
I could possibly
something.
I could possibly try to stabilize him, if that would be... What's going on here? I've just tried to click on Purdy's character, and it's asked me to log back into Roll20. It's fine now. Okay then. She can first aid it if you wish her to. She generally only needs to stabilize him, doesn't she? So she was sort of like first aid would stabilize it. She can do medicine, which is virtually like the healing skill that will actually heal 1d3 points of damage on it. So what would you like her to do? She, of course, says that she should do the complete medicine, although that would take longer. She would probably have to anesthetize him and, join together some of the bones and the tissue and then sew him back up, etc. So first aid, she wouldn't need to do anything like that.
I say we leave the injury to C.O.R.E, just stabilize him.
Oh, wow. So her first aid...
You mess with the law?
Yeah.
That's all.
You mess with the A team. Her first aid...
He fought the law and the law
comes knocking.
Yes. She gets a 61. So there's some kind of strange syringe that comes out and she injects it into the guy. That seems to be some kind of pain relief. And then she, out of her left hand comes some kind of automatic suture device that sort of like grips the two parts of the skin, pull it together and go ka-dung, like that. And she does ka-dung, ka-dung. And then she takes out what seems to be a very small welding torch, but you recognize it as some kind of automatic cauterizer. And she goes down it, and there's a sizzle of flesh, etc. Let's see how wonderfully brave. Why is it asking me to log in to... I might have to refresh.
It thinks you're a player. Trying to cheat.
It does. I don't know why it's technically doing it. Okay. Let's just see his endurance check here. Yeah, he sort of like grimaces, and there's a few cries of pain, and as that happened, Purdy's going, I am so sorry, sorry for that, I do apologize for this. This won't hurt a bit. Thank you very much for your cooperation. And he sort of like rolls around letting out cries as she sutures the wound. He's broken out into quite a heavy sweat, Newman, but he seems to be stabilized, not a problem.
Well, that's good to hear. I presumed while she was repairing his leg that I'd probably take his gun. No, I'm not like going to use it or anything. I just want to put it somewhere where he's not going to pick up his gun and shoot us.
You could probably do that bit.
And then I'll just stare like a menacing overlord.
You could do that bit that they always do in films. Pick up the gun and go and sort of like take it all to bits and pop it down. It's a 9mm automatic pistol if you're interested. Standard rounds in it. Yeah, so you just sort of like stand over him. Yeah, cool.
Actually, I should probably cuff his hands. And once he's stabilized, then drag him towards the car, the speeder.
Yeah, you sort of like start to cuff his hands. Just do a brawn roll for me. I presume they're like, what they're called, those plastic things. That you
zip ties.
Yeah, you probably got something like that rather than old-fashioned cuffs. Yeah, and you sort of like tighten them up the best you can and start to drag him back to the car. And Purdy sort of like says, Zach, I don't really think he should be... Oh, I see, you had just dragged... I really do think that he should... Oh, right, okay, then, not a problem. You sort of like drag...
And all the sand goes in the wound.
Yeah, and there's... I hope he doesn't start bleeding again, Zach. And yeah,
well, you'll have more work if he does.
So he sort of like gives out grunts of injury and damage, etc., as he's pulled across. But luckily, the sand's quite smooth and flat, so there's no hidden boulders to bang himself on. Yeah, so you can bring him back to the car. Just leaving him on the ground or propping him up?
I was gonna put him sit him up in the back seat, where I guess I was sitting before,
Yeah.
so that Captain can have a few words with him.
Yeah, so his leg doesn't bend that well, so you could probably sit him with almost like with his legs out the car. Minsk,
As I see him try and put me in the car, I said, no. Doesn't this thing have a boot?
it does. It has a cargo
Wow.
hold.
Yeah, let's put him in the car, guy. Oh, let's Hammond, come and join the fun. Go on.
All right. So should we interrogate him, or should we kind of bring him back to our place?
No, let's interrogate him. Let's not have any extra weight on the way back.
All right. So, actually, I'm going to leave this to Newman, and see if maybe he can use some of his skills to get some information out of him.
Okay, then. So the person leading the interrogation will be whoever's using their influence over him. I know you probably all got it. It's whether or not who's going to actually do the interrogation. I will adjust the difficulty due to you can augment it with one other person if need be. Not Purdy. She's not going to be involved in any extraction of information, and I'll adjust the difficulty about what you're doing and what you're not doing. So who's going to lead? Who's going to be point for the interrogation?
I imagine Newman.
I was hoping Captain, because you guys have seen Newman's level of interrogation. It's slamming things loudly and say, "What are you doing here?"
Yeah, that's what
What's your influence out of interest?
Or are we playing good cop, bad cop? Are we going to play good cop, bad cop?
I'm more of glaring cop that puts things together.
So you're the bad cop then.
I know when I'm being lied to, but getting people to tell the truth.
Are any of you very influential? Is the big question.
You know,
Captain,
I'm waiting for this prisoner to go, "I swear that's all," and I want you to go, "Swear to me."
Swear to me.
So
where is he?
I think Minsk has the highest.
I think I do 66.
Yeah.
Captain's got the people skills.
Yeah, so you can lead the interrogation or extraction.
I'll be right behind you, and I'll be.
You can augment with yours if you wish. Newman.
What's your augmentation?
Wow, your influence is good, isn't it?
I'm just telling the truth. My deceit's worse.
Okay, so before you roll anything, Mince, can you remember we talked about this idea of what kind of interaction you're setting up with your influence? So are you going with sort of like the nice approach, you know, we can really help you here? So or are you going from the approach, you know, the bad cop approach here? What's going to be your...
No, Minsk is more of a, "Hey, you're going to do me a favor," you know, and go that way with it. And if things don't work out that way, he'll just turn Newman on.
Cool. Okay,
Yeah.
then. So if you would like to roll your influence skill, and I will roll the protector's willpower roll. So that's absolutely fine. Yeah, quite understandably, the willpower fails. It was going to be a formidable roll just out of interest, because he's injured. There's somebody stood there with a shotgun that actually injured him as well. Yeah. So what information would you like?
No, my good man. So, what were you all doing here? Why were you waiting for us? Who told you we were coming?
He sort of like grimaces through his clenched teeth and keeps sort of like trying to touch his leg or try to clench his leg around the the wound, and every time he does that, Purdy goes, leave it, and just tells him, just sort of like moves it, and then sort of like gives a little zip electrocution, and he sort of says, the guy says, oh, please, he says, we're only following orders. You must know what it's like just following orders.
Whose orders?
No.
Well,
I don't.
We were told to watch the mining hub there, and if anybody came along, to ensure, and I quote here, ensure that you or they would leave as quickly as possible.
Right.
You didn't really do a very good job of that, though, did you?
Well,
So
we weren't expecting you to be so tough and bring your own heavy gunner with you. And he sort of like looks at Newman and goes,
every group or gang or partnership should have their own Newman.
yeah.
One of those things. And you know, you've not even seen Hammond yet.
No, that will be scary.
So, who are you working for?
He says, all we had was a name and a comlink number.
Give it up. Go. Chop.
He sort of like tells you that the guy's name was Bear, as in not as in ooh. The night. His code name was Bear. He does have a communication code, which he hands down to you. You don't need to know the exact digits, but just remember that you've got it. And he seems to be, due to your wonderful influence role and your nice communication or interrogation, he seems to be quite willing to hand over the information. Plus, he's got a shotgun blast in his leg as well, and Purdy's being a little bit annoying.
I'm going to approach Captain. Can I speak to you very quickly? Maybe I've privately, please.
Gosh, can happen. Let's. But you stay there because Newman's watching.
Newman,
yeah.
Guard.
To be fair, I hope you get better.
I want to walk earshot, away from earshot of the guy.
Yeah. Probably come round to the front of the car because the other guy's in the boot.
No, sorry, Captain.
Trunk for
trunk.
American users.
A boot? What kind?
I feel better
shoes.
now.
We have no shoes in the car.
This is in the trunk next to the bags of lime.
No, Captain. Maybe I have an idea. Maybe if we are to convince his employer that we're dead, and then he can then meet the employer for this pay. Maybe we can then ambush the employer.
So, that would be a wonderful idea.
Yeah.
If I'd have given it myself.
But since it's come from somebody else, I'm going to ignore it.
Oh, hang on, I've got an idea. No, let me. No.
I've had an idea that nobody's thought of before.
I agree, but let's check out here first. And what I would suggest is we proposition our friend over there, and maybe say we're going to split him in on it.
Ooh. Crafty.
Or we just tell him that he has no other choice. In other words, we just kill him right here.
No, because what he'll do is he'll just go and tell his boss that he's been coerced.
Or you could do a little telecom link in front of us with a blaster aimed at his junk.
Yeah.
Right in front of us.
Oh.
These guys are getting a little bit. I thought I was pushing the line.
I know.
Oh my gosh, throwing him in the boot
and shoot his junk. Whatever that might be.
Just fine leaving a scar.
It's of course up to you. It's an idea.
for the extra payday, that'd be great. Because
that too.
I need a new ship.
Yes, yeah, because you got the last one blown up.
Yeah,
I feel like you need to be the captain of Shopton, right? If you're gonna maintain the title of captain. Yes.
I've got a dinghy.
So
yeah, so I agree, Alan. Let's time up again. Let's make sure it's secure in the beach. We'll have a look around this place because they're clearly guarding it for some reason.
Yes.
And then we'll do your plan.
All right, sounds good. I'm going to while you're doing that, I'm going to check the bike he was on, see if maybe it's salvageable.
It's one thing that roll your mechanic roll.
Do I have that?
Yeah, you do, I think.
I do. Yeah, mechanics.
I think Hammond has like every spell underneath anything that is not combat. Hammond has. It's from initial looks, it does look like a normal 2-seater quad bike. But as you sort of like get closer to them, probably the one that Newman shot the guy off the back of, because that one didn't crash or anything, you do notice that it's had some alterations to it. You probably can see that there's some kind of boost to the speed, probably increasing its top speed by about 50%. There seems to be some kind of stabilizing unit that seems to be attached to the axle of the two wheels at the back. That probably reduces the bump, some kind of enhanced suspension. Roll your insight at formidable.
Choice. No.
Yeah, none of it looks familiar. You don't think, from your mechanics roll, you don't think that they've obviously, it would have taken a bit of money to get it to this stage.
Well, it looks like it's mine now.
Yeah, anybody with these will be a drive skill, because the land speeder that that Minsk rides is hover, and so he can use his pilot skill on it. But any other, so this quad bike will be a drive skill if you wish to ride it. The other two, one burst into a wall, I think, and the other one's not. It's incapacitated at the moment. But this one looks quite good.
Does anyone have a drive skill? My drive skill's bare minimum.
Yeah, I think nobody took it because you all thought you wouldn't be riding chariots. I think that was it.
Why drive when you can fly?
Yeah, exactly. It won't fit in the hover vehicle before, and you're not strapping it to the roof. You know?
I'm probably gonna leave it. That's fine. All right, let's go check out the rest of the place over here.
If it's as sweet as you think, why not booby trap it or do something to it? Perhaps no, because you might pick it up and go, oh, daddy,
yeah.
Oh, what's it?
Like if I felt like we're gonna get attacked by another wave, I'd probably booby trap it. But
that would be classic. You could drive it with Newman on the back playing shotgun. Hammond, what's your drive skill?
18.
So that would be your combat roll, because when you're firing from a vehicle, it's capped by the drive or the pilot skill.
Oh.
That would
great.
Oh,
yeah, maybe I should drive. Mine's a 25 at least.
Yeah, because you're used to cop cars. And
you called shotgun.
1 in 4 chance of success. That's great.
So so you Newman, you're staying guard of the person in the trunk. Purdy's with you, and So Hammond, are you going back to the 3 cargo?
Yeah, wasn't there one extra space? There's 3 cargos. Wasn't there like one we didn't explore? Yeah.
No, you
Well,
explored all 3 of them. The girl,
Oh, we did. Okay.
the desiccated body was in the last one.
Mm.
And there was the
Sure.
mine entrance that's been
That's
boarded
right.
up as well.
Okay.
Can't we get Purdy to sedate this guy in the back of in the trunk?
She, if you want her to sedate, she can sedate. That's not an issue.
Yeah.
Purdy, could you put this helpful gentleman to some needy, restful sleep for a few hours, please?
I hope you're not planning on doing anything untoward, James.
No, I promise not to steal his shoes and his clothes and paint him pink.
It's going to be very interesting when we return back to Arid with a dead, with a tied up person in the back of the boot, and she goes, "Psst," and the guy goes.
Lovely.
You did say 6 days, didn't you?
Yep.
Well, it's fine.
His heart rate is dropping now. 60 beats per minute. Blood pressure quite low.
You didn't kill him,
No.
did you?
Mr. Zack, I am quite shocked. A robot of my capabilities would not ever accidentally kill anybody due to my robotic law.
Only purposely. All right.
I never
So
know what Hammond's up to with you and all the other electronics. Microwave doesn't even work anymore.
just
You're like that person that in Shadowrun that has that negative that whenever you get to something electronic, it doesn't work. I mean, who's that? Who's that wizard? What's that wizard program? Oh, he has a hockey stick as a wand, and the guy who lives in the skull.
There's the Mighty Ducks animated series.
I'm going. Hang on.
Oh, you talking about He-Man? You talking about He-Man?
No.
Captain Grayskull or Castle Grayskull?
It begins with D. I'm sure it begins with D.
Dungeons and Dragons, the Darkwing.
Oh, no.
Dresden.
The only thing of
Dresden. Harry Dresden.
Yeah, I was not close.
No idea. No idea.
Oh, it's a good series. It's a good book
It's
as
in
well.
the Dresden Files.
Something about
Yeah.
a hockey stick. Wow.
Yeah.
I think electronic goods don't work near him as well. Darth just laughed at you, Mr. Pickles. I don't know why.
Well, I guessed everything terribly.
So yeah, so there's 3 of these shipping containers. You had a look at them last time, and
Okay.
Dungeons and Dragons, the Mighty Ducks version. So there was a desiccated body in the one that's like an office, and you were in there just before the protectors arrived.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess I think we already searched everything. I remember that the device that was put in was from me. I found it, I think, in the 3rd unit. I grabbed that, right? I grabbed that device.
Tell me the device that you're referring to.
There was a device that was like, because I remember you said I sparked a memory.
It was some kind of data reader that had been stamped on.
Oh, that's right. It was crushed.
Yeah. So yeah, you've got that, and that actually triggered the memory that you might have actually done it.
Got it. I crushed the data reader. Got it. All right.
But you can take it with you. That's not an issue.
Yeah, I'll take it with me because that's be a reason why I crushed it, right? Maybe.
Yeah.
Hypothetically, I didn't just step on it on accident.
It was definitely whacked
purposely.
Heavily.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe it's something I can fix and salvage,
Maybe.
and maybe read into it. I'm gonna go head back to the car or the captain to rest and tell them that it looks like we're ready to go.
Did we check for ID on that body?
Yes, you did, and there was nothing available.
Right.
Did you check what's in the mine?
I was going to say, should we have a look at the mine? That was the whole purpose of knocking him out. And
Okay,
yeah.
so
let's head
yeah,
over to the
you can
mine.
head over to the mine. It's boarded up quite significantly. There doesn't seem to be any of the wooden panels that have been broken off recently. It looks fairly intact. You can look.
I was going to say, before we get too close, can we check the floor, the sand for any footprints?
Absolutely fine. Just there seems to be nothing in front apart from tire tracks because the quad bikes have been over that area, and one of you hopefully got a torch or some description in your equipment, or you might just have your watch that can do it. So if you don't have a torch,
Heavy flashlight.
heavy flash.
I got it for hitting people on the head, but it's also to see.
Yeah, and you can sort of like peer through the wooden panels. Just anybody who's there, give me a perception check. Okay.
I mean, I'm there with my flashlight.
And Minsk's looking in the other direction unless he's using lurk. So was Hammond. Yeah, you're sort of like peering through, but you have the power of the flashlight, Newman, and you sort of like peer through it. There's some kind of rail system in the middle of the tunnel beyond. You do notice that as you get close to the wooden boarding, sand has piled up over the lower planks, probably just by normal wind blowing the sand. And when you look inside, it definitely looks, the rails look orange from rust. There's an overturned cart in there as well. You shine your torch further down and you can see that it goes about to the edge of your torchlight, just continuous. It doesn't look like it's your opinion that nobody's been in here a while. The boarded up entrance would suggest that as well. There's nothing broken or bashed or anything like that.
So what you're saying is we should definitely explore this area because obviously there's a lot down there that we need to go find, right, guys? No.
Or there could be some hazards.
I'm trying to work out why they'll be guarding these containers.
That's submission.
So, were they doing something here that they don't want anybody to know what's been going on? What was the keyword that we came across that somebody said? Bear with me. Oh.
Well, they're probably protecting from us. I think were you the specific target, the guy said?
Yeah,
I thought he said just general.
Yeah, exactly, Newman. He didn't mention anybody by name or anything. He just said protect it against people who came out to encourage them to leave as soon as possible.
Got it.
Hammond, can you use your devices to maybe find out if there's any toxic fallout or radiation or blood parasites coming up from down there?
Yeah. If you make a...
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I have...
Sorry, go.
Put your hand up if you want to talk, please.
Ish, I've a droid I can send in there, but I don't know if it pick up too much.
Yeah, so your sensor roll will pick up any readings off your standard sensor that you've probably got with you. That would pick up anything. You probably have to remove a board to make the gap big enough to send your drone in to go in there. But make your sensor roll first. Let's see what the data comes out. Oh, Hammond presses the wrong button and his sensor array gets blasted. Don't forget to tick yours.
That's 3 points.
Yeah, 3 point. Don't forget to tick it because because it's a fumble, I'm going to say that you sort of like get your sensor out and start pressing buttons, and you suddenly notice that nothing seems to be working on it. You think it might have got sand in it or something. It's sort of like giving glitchy readings that are going up and down. It's up to you what you say to the rest of the party at this point.
Looks like a little malfunction. I have to figure out later. Butch, how about this? I don't think there's anything down here. What do you guys think?
I think there's a waste or something valuable.
How is waste valuable?
Waste or something valuable.
I don't know.
There have been times I've had to encourage civilians to stay away from dangerous locations for their own safety, but I wouldn't use a gun.
Do you remember the message we got from our probe? The probe. I'm sure it's from the probe. Was it Silent Angel revealed the weapon is real?
Mm.
Would this be something to do with that? Could it be in here?
Remember,
possibly.
This was the location that was given to you, wasn't it? So yeah, there's several things that you could think about it. Like Success just said, are you assuming that the body is Silent Angel?
The desiccated corpse?
No, I don't. Oh,
Actually, I want to go to Purdy. Purdy, the body we found. Is it possible that it's only been dead for a few days, or does it seem like it's decrepit enough that it's been dead for a while?
One moment, when I examine my previously collected data, to be desiccated in that state, she has been in the general area of a hot sealed container for a few weeks, I would suggest.
We've probably been here just a few days ago, if I'm correct. So I'd imagine that we found her dead in the first place. Does that sound right?
Wouldn't it be funny if one of us was Bear, we paid these people to keep this place safe, and we killed that lady?
It wouldn't surprise us as much, but it would be interesting.
I know who'd be better.
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Pickles knows me so well.
Let's
John Carpenter's the thing, isn't it? Nobody knows who's who or what's what.
Let's go back to our friend in the car and possibly get him to say that the job has been done and ask for a payout.
Purdy said he's going to be out for 6 days.
6 entire days.
That's what Purdy said, and Purdy got on my case for doubting.
That's unneeded, but all right.
You could probably ask Purdy to revive him.
Yeah. I'll have you guys do that. Is there any way I can, with the items and stuff I have on me, see if I can maybe fix up the scanner or at least get information from the scanner, like from a memory chip or something?
The smashed one.
Yeah, the smashed one.
Yeah, that's going to need something a little bit more than what you've got with you at the moment.
Got it. Right.
But it would be possible. It would certainly be possible.
Yeah, I'd imagine I'd have to go back to my corner of
your workshop, etc. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. What do you guys think? Should we continue on, or should we bust through this wall and see what's in that mine?
I think we should go through the wall. I do think that something strange has happened here, and somehow you're involved, Hammond, as you should remember smashing that data chip on the floor.
Mr.
Who would
Hammond,
shoot?
Mr. Hammond, please tell me that Arthur, you did not kill that young lady, did you?
No.
I don't remember killing the lady, and as you said, it's been weeks.
So-
I'd imagine if
So you could have killed her, Arthur.
honestly, I don't remember. I don't.
Yes, James.
Could you do a biometric scan of these containers to see if there's any of our DNA in there that's older than today?
That would take considerable time.
Oh,
Which we don't have.
She would have to do some kind of forensic sweep.
yeah.
Please
just,
can
uh,
someone
ma-
say, let us go through the mines of Moria?
Through the mines of Moria. I'm not going to do the entrance.
It's a splendid place.
Beautiful.
That actually gives me an idea. I now have an idea of what for my craft devices thing. I'm actually going to make a Batman Arkham Asylum sensor thing where I can pick up random stuff.
Anything you want.
That would be amazing, right? I'd be like,
Is the plan to break into the mine?
I think so. That's
Yeah,
what I
I
would
think
put my
so.
vote down, is break down the wall and explore a little bit, and
Okay,
come
then.
back and
So-
head home at the end of the day.
Do you want to take a break while you draw a map? Oh,
No, not at all. So this will be a conflict pool
okay.
roll. So the boarding has a brawn roll, and you will have your own brawn roll. Remember, if you succeed, you reduce the board by 1d3 points until it's down. I'll probably give you 1d6 in this case, and you can take it in turns. Remember, once you're halfway down, then it will become hard for you. So, but you're going to have to take it in turns in order to start trying to break it through. So the question is just who's going first. That's all I need to know first, and what their brawn skill
I'll
is.
be going last because I'll be supervising.
Okay.
I'm smashing in first. That's what my post was about.
Okay then.
Yeah.
So if
I
you
should use my words.
roll your
It's like, can you open this jar of pickles, or can pickles open this jar?
jar, that's good. I like that one. Okay then. Yes, Newman, go for it. Roll your.
Run, coming right at you.
Yeah.
Do I embarrass myself? Or-
Dub.
Yeah, I'll give you a.
It's like you're there, you stub your
Use your
toe.
luck. Use
He's
your
like,
luck,
"Oh."
damn it.
I've given him. Well, you got the luck point. It's a 36 reverse.
Yes. Okay, 36.
Oh, that'd be a D3 then.
A D6.
D6. 1d6.
Hang on, you can keep that roll. I just need to roll the brawn because it's conflicted with
Right.
the that's
Resisting.
yeah. So you sort of like get some fingers on, you go, and you sort of like Purdy notices that a vein's popping out on by the side of your head and says, Zach, please do not strain yourself on an inanimate object. So you failed that. So it looks quite still in place.
After seeing this, I'm going to look at Hammond and I'm going to say, Hammond, do you have any toys that can open this thing a little bit easier? Because Newman here seems to be having a problem. I know you took that little piece off the bottom there, Hammond, really easily to let your drone through or your scanner through, but no, it's. Have you got anything to do better?
Yeah, well, I probably have a few ideas. Well, we can try to get just one board, or we can just drive, essentially aim the bike at it and drive it and have it smash through.
What? No.
Or,
Are you A stunt driver now, Hammond.
Or there's probably some kind of crowbar lying around a place in a mining hub, which would reduce the roll from a standard to an easy.
I think Newman would angrily draw his blaster at this point and aim for a few seconds and just shoot at one of the boards.
Go for it. Roll your to hit roll.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go look for some tools. I might have to.
Yeah, that hits. So you can. You'll have a special.
Reducing my frustration with the boards probably isn't a special, but
you could do it in
bypass armor.
I really just want to hit like the middle of one of the boards and have it sizzle and burn a little bit.
Okay then, so roll your damage.
Yeah, here's my damage.
6, and you instantly cauterize the wood as well.
Bleed.
That sort of like takes it doesn't disintegrate the whole lot, but it puts a nice hole in it.
It looks like you scared the wood though. It's definitely petrified now.
Definitely petrified. Oh, I wish my.
We need a counter.
I don't think you can't hear that, can't you? When I play. Do you hear that? The stream hears it, but not you. That's all right. Yeah. So you can find some kind of levering device. Newman, you're quite cross with this board now. But Hammond's handed you some kind of metal pole that you can probably use for leverage. So would you like to roll your brawn again?
I'd given up with my hands, but this metal pipe might just do the trick.
So that's good, and your roll is higher than mine. So 1d6, please.
Oh, that's not how you do that.
No, that's not how you do it.
Not at all. 5.
Yeah, you sort of like break a little bit off. And is the idea to carry on with this until it's you've got enough boards either broken or off to actually get in there?
Yeah.
I was also going to send my sensor droid through and have it go down.
Your surveillance drone.
Yeah, surveillance droid. Yeah.
Yeah. So, is that the one that doesn't that so that's the one until you do some work on it. Is it a light surveillance drone?
Yes.
Yeah. So that its objective is to area surveillance and report intruders.
Just intruders. All right. But it can't pick up any sensors of readings of radiation.
It's got a perception skill of 50.
I was going to say we all have multi-scanners anyway, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Which would do that.
Apart from Arthur doesn't.
Oh no.
Because his isn't working at the moment.
Mine's malfunctioning a bit. That's all. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you think we've got. So, I say we've got light satisfying goggles and laser torches as well. So, I'm assuming that the laser torch isn't a starter fire laser torch. It's a proper laser beam of light.
It's like a normal handheld torch. No, it's not. you can use it to cut through the wood. I think those were in your escape pod.
That's right. Yes. Yeah, I've got them on my list. Yeah.
So you can use those. You actually.
Would it be really funny if I see him crowbarring it? I'll just sit next to them.
So if you remember, you set off early in the morning to get here. So it's probably coming up midday about now after everything that's happened. So you start to laser torch through the wood. The wood's very dry, and you figure it's been here quite a few years rather than months. You eventually cut away a hole that's big enough for you to either go in sideways or crawl in. As you venture down the mine shaft beyond your torchlight, you do notice that it comes to an end lift, but more a lift placement. You notice that there's some kind of pulley up at the top. There seems to be some kind of wooden balustrade round it. The pulley is empty. There's no rope attached to it at all. And shining your torch down the shaft, you can see what appears to be the broken lift that appears to be wooden. You can see it looks like it's hit the ground quite badly and sort of like splintered. You can see the ropes all down there. You figure that somebody probably at the end of the mine's life probably cut the rope and let it go down, and so the lift is down there. But currently, unless you got rope, I think Newman has rope off the top of my head. I think you asked for some.
I had talked about my crafting skills.
Oh yes,
for rope,
that's
but,
it. Yeah.
I don't actually have any rope on me.
No. So currently, you're going to have to buy some equipment to abseil down here. Effectively, you don't have a climb. I don't think there's not a climb skill.
That'd be athletics.
Yeah. It's either athletics. I never know whether or not it's athletics or acrobatics. Athletics is the standard skill, so you could just roll an athletics to crawl down there, but you're definitely going to need some climbing equipment, etc. to abseil down there. But it is quite possible. Just to let you know, there appears to be no light emanating from anything down there, and Purdy scans the general area, and although she doesn't have a sensor skill that allows you to interpret data, she just relies on the actual computer scanner that just says everything is safe, and that's it. The only thing that alters as you go down is the temperature.
Well, that's what I would call a dead end.
Yes.
So why would they have 3 containers out here, a closed off mine, and people guarding those containers? What was here that was so valuable for us? I think
We found that out last session. Newman did some research around the streets and asked people about like all this, and it's valuable ores, isn't it? Metals and whatnot.
Yeah, it was a fact one time a functioning mine.
Correct.
that's right. This has been closed years, according to the age of the wood. But why are they guarding it now?
Remember, this was also the coordinates that you had to meet Silent Angel at. That's why you've come out here in the first place. So this was, if you remember, from the barkeeper.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember his name.
His name was Benny.
No,
Benny?
that's your
Nope.
fixer. Oh, I'll check it in a second. He sort of like gave you the coordinates. And when you got there, he said that you didn't actually meet anyone there. He was instructed to give you over the location of the mine, i.e. via coordinates. So when you originally went on the job, you were to meet somebody, Silent Angel, at the Dry Gypsy, and then you got this, but she wasn't there. You got some coordinates, and the coordinates were this mining hub.
Box. Yes.
And the other thing to remind you about is that you got attacked by a drone on the way out here.
Yeah, that's right. We did. Sorry,
I've searched everything here, haven't we? Now there's nothing.
Yeah,
else.
I'm trying to interpret it. Like, it's possible that the the corpse inside that building is a silent angel, but how are we going to find out?
Uh,
We searched the corpse, right? We searched for anything.
Yeah.
I think I did.
I mean,
Yeah.
ways that you could do it. You could take a DNA sample, maybe a follicle of hair, because the blood's quite dried out, and then analyze that to see whether or not, if it is somebody called Silent Angel, whether or not there's any matches on computer databases within the system, or is there a match at all to actually figure out who she was, or who she was, sorry.
I'll probably do that, maybe use that against my scanners and whatnot.
So Purdy's probably a lot more proficient in, so she's quite happy to take that, and she takes some hair follicles and seals it in vacuum packed containers to prevent any contamination about anything. And and so she's got that, and she does have a computer skill, I think, but let me just check. But it's not the best. But I think Hammond, you've actually got a computer skill. No, she doesn't. She doesn't have computers.
I have a computer skill. Mine's pretty proficient, like everything else I do.
Excellent.
No.
Okay, so is there anything that you want to do at this place, or are you happy to make your way back to Arid?
What do you guys think? Should we get this guy to call in his employer here, or should we go back and have him do it? Because technically, all we have to do is, once he's done with that, we can throw him out and say, "Hey, there's a bike right there. Go save yourself."
Exactly. What I was thinking was, if we get him to say, "Hey, boss," or whatever, we've killed a group of people that come around to have a look. Do you want to come and see who they are? Identify them, and that they're here. If you want to come and see, and leave it at that. See if you want to come out. Okay,
so Purdy can attempt to revive the guy using her medicine roll, which is 98. Oh, Purdy is a hero. Yeah, she revives him with no delay. So there's no sort of like coming round or any bit time of incoherence or anything like that. And he sort of like quickly comes to wait, and he looks round and sort of like suddenly realizes where he is, and then feels the pain in his thigh and goes and grabs the wound, and Purdy just goes, "No." And and he sort of like looks at you all, and then suddenly realizes that moment it dawns on him where he is and what's happened. Yes, Minx, what would you like to do?
Now, my friend, my friend Hammond here is going to give you a proposition. Something where you can make a lot of money or not. So, Hammond, over to you. And just to let you know, my friend, he's got a funny accent. Some words, if you don't understand them, please raise your hand.
I will do, Bud, thank you. Thank you for being so considerate. You're such a kind man, you are.
No, I'm here to help you, if you help me.
Would you like to be a passion for me? Would you like...
We'll discuss it tomorrow.
I'll help you. I'll definitely help you. No worries at all.
So, hi, I'm Hammond. A proposition for you. I can either. Sorry, I'm changing my accent a bit.
Just go with it. Just go with it.
All right.
I can either be Scottish or Chekhov.
Yeah,
I can check it. Scottish check. All right, I'm going back to Scottish. All right. We need you to call your employer, and from there, we need you to act like you have successfully murdered us. and you are here to not only have us identified, but also collect your bounty.
Okay. Minsk, roll an insight roll for me, please.
Certainly. Oh, I would love to use a point of luck, please, sir, and re-roll that, because I've been watching this person with both of my eyes.
Here we go.
Yeah. Okay then. So the following things that he says, Minsk, are completely and utterly true. He's not deviating from the truth at all. He's not trying to hide anything. Basically, he says that he has only that contact number, which I think he gave to you, Minsk. I think you have that contact number. He says that they were paid up front.
Oh, okay.
And Hammond, that starts to ring true with you because it might explain why there's virtual additions to the quad bikes. You figure they might have got the money up front and then made the changes. And the last thing he says, and again, it's totally truthful, they were paid to keep an eye on the location for 3 months, and then the job was over and done with.
There was no other form of contact, no
Well,
extra pay at the end.
If anybody arrived, they were encouraged to remove them as soon as possible, but they do have that communication link that he has. I just need to roll.
Can I just
Yeah, go for it.
ask, and how long have you been here now?
He's sort of like 45 minutes.
No, on the job.
Oh, a little over a month.
Wonderful, thank you.
He turns to you, Minsk, and says, "Would you like an addition? I'm pretty good in a firefight. Not as good as you," he says to Newman, who's got his shotgun out. He says, "Are you like mercenaries? Can I join you?"
You know, my friend, it's one of those things where if you weren't so talkative, I might have said yes.
He goes, oh, sorry. Oh, no.
Oh, second question. There's a butty in that container over there.
There's a butty, did you say?
I'm sure it's a butty as
There's
well.
a butty. There's a body, a corpse.
A chip butty? Is that?
It's
a corpse in that container over there.
He says,
did you kill that person?
He says,
or was that person already there?
There's a corpse?
Yes.
I didn't kill anyone. We were just paid to encourage people to leave. There's a corpse in one of those containers.
Well, you did shoot at us, you know. You realize that,
Well, yeah, we were just told to make you go away. It was either that or harsh words, and I find in my line of work, bullets speak louder than words. And he sort of like gives almost like a frowning glance over to Newman, as if to say, "You meanie."
Newman gives a knowing nod. That's definitely a true statement that he gave.
That's cute. Anyways, so you've been working in this area for 1 month, and you haven't realised there's a bloody corpse.
No.
In that container.
We get a
You've not looked at any containers.
No. He says we get a signal saying that some people are approaching, and we head out.
All right. Well, I'm going to have you do this really quick while we're here, and then we're going to let you go 3 if you do what we need to do. 1, I need you to reach out to that com link you gave us.
The code. Yeah.
The code, yeah. I need you to reach out that code to see if there's any response.
Yeah, he's more than happy to do that. He takes out his own communication system because that's quite standard on most people, and he types in the 6-figure digit, the 6-digit figure, and presses a button, and you can just, it's got that typical ba 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 ba, as if it's ringing someone, and it just seems to go on and on. He cancels it and tries it again, and the second time he gets like an unattainable number, and he sort of like looks at his communication device and turns it round to you, so you can all say it, and it actually says number not recognized.
Got it. So
Brilliant.
obviously the communication link has been a burner, right?
Oh,
Well,
listen to Hammond with all his technical lingo there.
Been a burner. I turn around to Minskin and Newman. So, from what do we do now?
I think we head back to town.
Right.
I didn't know
You're
whether or
gonna
not
get there.
Hammond was talking about the person as well. Is it?
Oh no, that'll come in a moment. Hammond, do you want to disable that bike there, and we'll leave our friend here to make his own way home. I personally don't like people shooting at me.
Master,
Disable the bike?
yeah, so you can roll a mechanical roll. That would mean that it's either, you can choose what you want to gain from the roll. So it could be completely inoperable, maybe something that might need a mechanic skill to get it working again. You know, maybe you removed brake fluid or something like that. It's completely up to you.
Well, wait, I thought we were just gonna, I was gonna take his gun and everything, take the guns, and then just have him.
Yeah, I think
leave by himself on the bike.
I think Newman has the gun, does he?
Yeah.
I tossed it in the back of the speeder, so anybody but
Yeah.
this guy could probably take it.
Yeah. So that's what we just leave him the bike and leave him to live life. He's obviously damaged everything. He's gonna be walking away. He's not gonna attack us.
No,
Oh, no, it's not gonna do that. Well, my thought was just to let him walk back to town by himself.
Yeah, but he'd probably die.
Purdy says that would be quite a serious assumption, a correct assumption, Arthur.
Yeah.
In this midday heat with no water, death is likely.
He's already injured too. And
yes,
he'd be
he
screwed.
really needs some kind of plasma transplant, which I can perform here if.
No, Purdy, that's fine.
You are compatible, James. Just so you know.
No, I'm not. Trust me.
If you would like to
not.
donate some plasma, it would definitely work.
Does he have a ship?
Nobody's asked him that, but you can if you wish.
Do you have a ship?
No. Okay, so are you leaving him with the bike? Are you going to do something to? Oh, you're so kind, Hammond.
But
Unlike some people,
I'm gonna make it very, very. I'm gonna look him right in the eye. Look.
Oh, God, you'll do my.
I do not want to see you again. You got it?
No, you won't ever see me. I'm going off planet. I hate this place.
If you come at us with more people, I promise you, we will make your death very slow and very painful. You got it?
Yeah.
All right.
And
Good luck.
Thank you. Good luck to you. And he looks at you, Minsk, and says, anytime you need an extra person, I'm quite happy. And he sort of like heads over, and you guys get into the hover.
Turn his back, I'm going to shoot in the back of the
Yeah.
It was me that kills the woman in the building.
Bam!
Yeah, and you head back to Arid. Mint's doing a fantastic job of driving as usual. And just before we take our break, I just want to say what you find as you approach the outskirts of Arid. There seems to be about 4 quite large opaque black vehicles. They seem to be almost like large vans or large personnel carriers. You notice that they are hover vehicles, but they also have wheels as an option. as well. There seems to be a group of people stood around in what appears to be head to toe full powered armor. It's opaque black as well, and they seem to be carrying some kind of energy rifle. It could be a phaser or a laser or even a disintegration rifle. And they're obviously guarding the area, and you can see that on all the vehicles, written down the side in gold, striking gold lettering, are the letters C.O.R.E. It looks like we're going to have an encounter with C.O.R.E. Da, da, da. Yeah, can you see now why I wanted you to tell me what you felt about Minsk? This is the time you need to keep your mouth shut, I think. Excellent. We are going to take a quick 10-minute break. We'll be back at quarter to the hour. So do come back, go off and grab yourself a drink, and we'll be back shortly. See you soon. We are back. Welcome back, everyone. We left the party approaching the Arid, their former base. And if you remember, they as you approached, they saw 4 big black opaque personnel carriers, some very well armed guards. Does anybody have a role that might allow them to actually know what they're armed with or not?
I might. Give me a sec.
I'm pretty good at my knowledge of what revolvers and shotguns look like.
Okay, then. So
I have
but I also
knowledge
have
corporate
streetwise.
practices.
right. Okay, then. So you, Hammond, you can roll corporate practices, and Newman, you can roll your weapon.
They only have criminal underground.
I'm going to use my one luck that I haven't used yet, and I'm going to reverse that roll.
Cool. Oh, look at
Whoa.
that coming out.
Newman.
You know, he had
That's awesome.
that is really good. Right, I'm just finding what they are. You figure they are probably military body armor. For in a game comparison, they have an armor point of 12.
Jesus Christ.
And normally they give a minus 25 to any physical skills, including combat. But both of you know that core defenders or disruptors or whatever you want to call them actually have powered military body armor that actually removes that minus 25%, so they don't suffer it at all. There's various information about it across the interweb or the planet web, etc. Nobody actually knows how they made or what they do, etc., etc., apart from the fact that they are very, very hard to hit. There is a rumor going around that nobody, once the helmet and the visors pulled down, apparently people say that they got heads up target location and everything inside, enhanced hearing and sight, automatic sensors. There's a huge amount of rumors saying that they're sealed, so things like toxic gases will not work, but also they're able to live for a limited amount of time in 0G gravity or space, or even underwater. The other thing that you do know is that they are carrying disintegrator rifles or disruptor rifles. They actually have a damage code of 2d10. So you can imagine if that hit you, yeah, your arm might quite literally be disintegrated. So yeah, and that is standard armor and weapons for core protectors or core soldiers or whatever you wish to call them. You can see this, and you're assuming that there might be another line of disruptor agents on the opposite side of the people carrier as well, because these all seem to be looking out across the desert, and they're slowly turning their head backwards and forwards like this, almost as if they're scanning. And at that point, Purdy sort of like jolts like this, and she turns to you, James, because it seems that James, Purdy is your robot. You're not too sure why, but she seems to have quite a natural affinity to you. And whenever she's giving general information, she normally addresses it to James as the captain, maybe. And she sort of like jolts and says, James, we have just been scanned.
Really? And you can see Mint's knuckles tighten on the steering wheel as he sees these core employees in front of him.
Yeah.
So how are they laid out? Can we go? Are they blocking the road into town?
They're blocking the road. I mean, you could try to circumnavigate them or circumvent them and drive off. Your only worry at this point, Minsk, is that Purdy has said that you have been scanned.
Why have we been scanned?
Yeah. If you go straight ahead, you're going to have to stop unless you want to try to plow through to people carriers.
No, that's not going to happen with Speeder.
Wouldn't it be standard though for like us to be scanned when coming up to a core checkpoint?
It would be not normally on Arid, because if you remember, the tech level's quite low. But if it was a major city or prosperous city, then yes. And it's normally done, however, and this is why I'm giving you the information, it's normally done by law enforcers. You know, they would be the people that are logging people in and out. Minsk, you're very familiar about this with people logging in and out of starports on ships and things like that.
It's officials rather than companies.
Yeah. But also this state that there are ways to get round it, of course. You know, you could change the transponder in your land speeder with the appropriate skill to give out a false reading or not. And also remember that you are also chipped. You're aware of that because Purdy has mentioned in the past that she's monitoring your vitals. So Minsk sort of like hands grip the steering wheel, because you're not a great fan of
I'm
C.O.R.E.
not a lover of the core. No.
So what's going to be the plan?
I do have a question before. Is this roughly in the same area that we destroyed that drone?
No, it's closer to the base, a lot closer.
Okay.
But saying that black opaque drone really does look very similar to these black opaque personnel carriers, and also the black opaque armor. The only thing that drone was omitting was the word core down its side.
I don't understand why C.O.R.E decided to make big corporation. Doesn't seem very nice having everything just be black and opaque. But whatever. It's not a very customer friendly. Not
please, when Minsk eventually gets his ship, paint it pink, please, or light blue.
Yeah.
pink and yellow
Purple.
neon.
Yeah, so it's really to sort of like do well on stealth missions.
Yeah.
No, we'll paint it black under the purple I'm going to put on top.
Yeah, so you're approaching this. What's going to be the
Purdy, what can you do
with the drunken sailor?
Yeah. What can you do to alter our scan, alter our identification?
It would be unwise, James, to do that where the core is involved. Their tech is a lot higher than mine, and anybody with any substantial skill might be able to hack through that.
I will bow to your knowledge of this, Purdy, because you've not steered me wrong yet.
No, I like to look after you, James.
Aaron?
Maybe I'm thinking. Give me a check. Is there any way I can block their scan with my scanner?
Not with your handheld scanner. It's not that
No, I
powerful.
was going to say I don't want to block it anyway because, I mean, they've already scanned us. I don't want to block it because a blank speeder coming towards them is a big like, oh, what was this?
Yeah.
Let's just play innocent and go in.
Minsk, I now see why you are the captain. See, this is why you're the captain, Minsk, because you make decisions like this. Yeah, so you're pulling up.
Everybody stay calm. I don't know how you feel about C.O.R.E, but I hate these really grubbing people.
Yeah. And I as you get closer and closer and closer, the you notice that the guards, the protectors, I'll think of a good name for them, almost like come
Terminators.
Comes to like a ready position with their rifles almost like trained at the land speeder. And it's at this point that you suddenly notice that around you there, around this entrance, there seems to be little to no activity. There seems to be no other speeders or land speeders leaving or anything like that. And for the first time, as you get closer, you notice that there's no Arid town folk there either. There's nobody gathering around the machines, the vehicles or anything like that. And as you get closer, one of the protectors, one of the core people and guards lowers his or should I say its rifle and puts up a hand like this to instruct you to stop.
I'll pull to a nice low stop, but literally inches away from him.
Yeah, and he sort of like watches you, and you sort of like pull up just before him. Just roll a pilot skill.
Does he flinch?
Well, I'm going to tell you that after the pilot skill, because it'd be really funny if you fumble it.
Fumble, yeah.
Oh no! And you sort of like go, and he sort of like watches it come closer and closer and closer. I'm just going to roll his willpower, to see what he got. His willpower is
Just so you know, I shouldn't be provoking, but I couldn't help it.
I know. Okay, his willpower is 59.
Oh,
yeah. So he
like a statue.
He doesn't flinch at all, and you might have even gone up and just all gone, boom, you know, and he doesn't move at all. He just sort of like follows your bumper that slowly hits him, and then he looks up. And you hear this mechanical voice, this vocalization. It's obviously coming from somewhere inside their helmets. It's quite robotic in sound, but not in nature. It sounds you think it's probably been reproduced electronically. That gives it that tingy edge. And he just, you assume it's the first person that you bumped or nearly bumped. And the police, he just sort of like, here, you hear him say, everyone, please, out of the car. This is a C.O.R.E representative. Please obey the orders and step out of your car. Thank you for your cooperation.
Captain, I don't think we should fight them in this case.
They are the law.
Yes, well, they're not the law. They're a
Not
corporation.
entirely because of that, Newman. I think it's honestly it's the giant tanks and the body armor that I'm more worried about.
We're outgunned. I'm not a crazy leader of suicide squads.
No.
All I will say is bite your tongues, don't speak out of turn, be polite as you can.
Acknowledge, James. I will try.
Yeah, Purdy, please just shut up.
So I'll give a thumbs up.
Arthur, there is no need to be rude.
I'll give a thumbs up.
Purdy, disable vocal capabilities.
Sorry, Miss. Sorry, Arthur. James, do you wish me to deactivate my vocal synthesizer?
A moment's but no, Purdy, you're fine.
So you all get out of the car, hopefully in a non-threatening way. And at that point, you notice that over to one side, coming through the two vehicles, there's a woman leading the walk and a man behind her. The woman seems to be dressed in some kind of formal business attire. She seems to have what appears to be a device, like a scanner device, very much like an iPad. And you notice that she's struggling across here in what appears to be quite work-related stiletto heels that are causing her some problems in the shifting sand, but she's coping with them very well. And she sort of like comes up, and the guy behind is slightly smaller than the woman, although this might just be because of heels, but you don't think he's quite wiry and thin and scrawny, and he seems to have a pair of glasses or optical readers on his nose that and covering his eyes, but also tends to have almost like a much larger data pad that he's using his finger and styler on at all point. And as she walks towards you, could you all make for me a perception check? It's going to be a hard one. Oh, hang on. Let's see if Purdy, because Purdy...
What people?
Yeah. So Purdy makes hers, and you hear through the internal comms, and you notice that the woman almost like pauses in step, and Purdy says, she appears to have an internal... This is over communication. Yeah. She seems to have an internal communication device. And she comes up to you, and she looks round and sort of like acknowledges you all with a beaming smile, a huge beaming smile. Now, some of you have actually been employed by C.O.R.E, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Newman, you did basic training and left. Is that correct?
No, I did additional basic training. I stayed there for a while, and then I went into the law.
Okay, then. So, roughly how long? How many years?
I put 30 points of training experience in, so I figure that's at least a couple extra years, maybe like 4 or 5.
Okay, then. So we're looking at we'll go with the lowest. We'll go with the 40%. So I'm going to roll a percentile dice. So what we're looking for is less than 40 on this roll. Right, that's fine. So that's fine. Now, Hammond, you stayed longer. How many years were you actually?
25 years, 10 years since I've left.
Right. So that's 25 years. So that's going to be a nice high score. Yeah, even with the 90, she sort of like comes over. Newman, she doesn't seem to recognize you at all. And she seems to look at you all in detail. After what Purdy noticed as a communication relay, and then pauses on you, Arthur Hammond, and say, Arthur, it is so pleased to see you again.
What's her name? Would I know this?
You've never seen her before.
Okay. And
she hasn't introduced herself yet.
Got it. Okay. Just making sure it's not a weird insight. So, do I know you?
Oh, Arthur, everybody in the C.O.R.E knows each other. We're one very big, happy family. You seem to work in, and you notice at that point that now that she's closer to you, Hammond, you notice that her eyes seem to, her pupils seem to jidder, and she seems to close her eyes a few times. Just like Purdy says, she seems to be getting data from somewhere. How long's it been? 9, 10 years?
Something like that.
Yes. How's things?
Could be better.
Oh dear. Well, remember, if you want a better life, then you are always welcome back to the C.O.R.E. We are here to really please your needs and send you happiness right to your core.
I feel like we both know what happened last time, and I feel like it won't happen again, right? So it's best stay away from C.O.R.E. as much as possible.
Is it? You are against the C.O.R.E.?
How can I help you, man?
Just one moment. Jasper! And the squaddy man comes up. Please make a note of that. And we'll definitely have to adjust his record and maybe schedule a psychiatric evaluation if he comes back for employment. Now then, Arthur, tell me, who are your friends?
This is Minsk, and that over there is Newman.
And I am Purdy, P-E-R-D-I, medical robot and friend of this gallant group of adventurers.
She's a medical robot.
Yes, she seems to have announced herself. It's very fond. Greetings to you, Purdy. Now, let's think. Why would the C.O.R.E. be here? Although you probably think, Arthur, it is to come and seek you out on this moment. On that point, you would not be correct. Although you are welcome back at any time.
Again, what can we do to help? Why did you stop us?
Yeah, roll your influence skill. Before you roll it, how are you trying to develop this conversation? Where do you want to go with it?
I want essentially for them to realize that there's no reason for us to be stopped and to just let us go.
Okay.
Kind of like essentially if you got pulled over by a cop, it's like, well, we've done nothing wrong. We haven't speeding. Our lights are on.
Yeah. Cool.
Why'd you pull us over?
Yeah. Roll your influence. Oh, yeah. This is my role. She actually succeeds, and it tops your 12. So she wins the role, and you try to talk around it and sort of like say things like, it's not fair that you stop us, we weren't doing anything wrong. And she's doing that really annoying thing when she smiles and nods, and you think that you've made a point. And then she says things like, "The Corps has permission to stop anybody they like, Arthur. You should know that." And you sort of like come back with a retort, and she says, "You need to know and try to remember some of your core instruction." And she says, "Oh, Jasper." And she hands out her iPad, and she looks at you, Arthur, since you seem to be, Hammond, you seem to be leading the discussion. And she says, "And tell me, why are you here on this planet?" Okay, then.
At which point, Minsk will
Yeah, do you think
take a
try out, who am I playing?
well, yeah. Minsk will take his hand outstretched, will take a step forward and say, "Hi, I'm James Minsk. What's your name?"
James Minsk, she says
Minsk.
to.
Yeah, that's right. And
Yeah.
I'll have my hand there and I'll be, yeah, Minsk.
She's not
right.
actually looking at you. She's looking at Jasper. And she says, "James Minsk?" And he seems to do something on his keypad, on his tablet, and then shows it to her. And she says, oh, yes. A pilot of some renown, it seems.
Well, I don't like to blow my own trumpet.
I'm very pleased to meet you, James, Mr.
And I
James
keep
Minsk.
my hand held out.
And she sort of like takes it out. So roll your influence. What are you trying to? What kind of interaction are you trying to get here?
I'm trying to, see the inside. I'm trying to.
Avoid Hammond having to make a deception roll.
I'm trying to give a friendly, welcoming appearance as best as I can.
Okay, then roll your influence.
Oh,
yeah, 62. She sort of like puts out her hand and says, "Melanie Fish."
Fish for what? No.
She sort of like laughs. And this is like, "Oh, yes, James. Growing up with the name, you won't believe how many times I've heard that. Now, James, why are you and your crew," she sort of like poses questioningly, "here on Arid, may I ask?"
My friends and I, we just came here for a visit. We heard the local lifestyle here was the way to go. It's quiet. There's lots of nice sun.
Cool.
What else do you want? Oh, and the beer here is to die for.
Yeah, so roll your deceit roll.
Oh, gosh.
This might be something that you might want to invest.
Oh,
ooh.
I will use a point of luck, please, and can I re-roll that?
You certainly can, Minsk.
Oh, gosh, I think you need points of luck.
Yes, and she sort of like goes, "Very interesting, Mr. Minsk. I see it's quite a nice planet just for general, exploration. Right, well, we had some other matters to deal with here, which we are pleased to announce that we have concluded those. And yes, you are all very welcome. Thank you so much for meeting us. And we will be going now. Yes, I hope you have a very pleasant stay at on Arid." And she turns around as if to go, then stops, turns back to you, Hammond, leans forward and whispers something in your ear. Newman and Minsk, roll a perception. It's going to be a formidable roll to hear. Oh, Minsk has got. Oh, are you looking at?
No. Do you want me to take out my earbuds?
Yeah, just for 1 second. And yeah, she leans forward to Hammond. She whispers in your ear, "Just to let you know, Hammond, it worked and it's operational." Okay, you can put the You can put them back in now. And she, saying that, she turns round and she sort of like puts her hand up and goes.
Before she does walk away, I'll say, Melanie Fish, it was a pleasure meeting you. I hope we do meet at some point in the future.
And she just,
and I'll bow slightly to her.
She just turns around to you and smiles and says, "Oh no, Mr. Minx, the pleasure was all mine." And she clicks her fingers, and the side doors of the core personnel carrier sort of like slide open, and you notice there's some quite high-tech electronics in the back of one of them. You think it's probably a bit like in our world, probably like a sensor plane, a surveillance plane or something like that. There seems to be a lot of electronics and gadgets. Some of them you've never seen before, let alone be able to use them. And they sort of like get into the people carriers and the personnel's characters, and they sort of go like this, and the wheels fold under, and they head off, circumventing the outside of Arid before taking an appropriately wide street and probably heading to the starport. And quite unexpectedly at that moment, you're stood on the outskirts of Arid, but there's nobody that appears to be on the streets at all. The streets seem to be completely empty in this area. However, as you get back in your car and starts to move forward, then you notice that people start to come out. The Arid becomes more busy, and pretty soon after the core department departing, things seem to get back to normal. One thing I'd just like to remind you about is that the core has had no established base, no presence in this solar system up until this point. You are not too sure whether or not that was a heavy party or a light party, but they were obviously here for something. And that, go for it.
I would like to, as we drive in, the first people that come out where these troops were, these vehicles were, I'd like to say, what were they doing here?
And
anybody passing by?
Yeah,
there must be curtain switches.
You get this reaction to most people. Some that you might know, some that you just ask, and the feeling is very negative. People don't know why they were here. Somebody else says, but when has the core have to have a reason? And you get this feeling of people talking to you, that some people are sort of like saying, this is why I came here, so there was no red tape and lockdown by the core. It's really bad news that they've started to come to the system. They've never been seen on Arid since day dot. This seems to be the first time.
Nobody knows what they actually did when they were here.
No.
So they just sat there in a van and nobody saw them get out or do anything. Or
it appears that they were sat in the guarded vans and just pulled up there. And that was literally it. Okay, so
they're waiting for us.
Yeah. Hammond, are you going to share with Newman what she said to you?
Yeah, he's kind of thinking over as we're walking or we're getting back to the place. I think the weapon. Oh, sorry. Let me do this again. I think the weapons. I think C.O.R.E has something to do with the weapon. The weapon that was told. In it. Either they're interested or the producers of it, something of that nature. I don't know. But she turned to me, whispered that it's active, that it worked. I assume she's talking about the weapon.
Well, roll an insight roll as formidable, just to see whether or not anything flashes across your memory.
Me or
Sorry, Hammond. Yeah.
okay.
Can I make an insight roll as well in the fact that
You know what?
I overheard it and sorry.
Yeah, no, I trying to think. Should I
Um,
use my last luck roll or not for this?
I mean, I kind of had a feeling that the weapon, we were transporting it and it activated in our ship.
Minsk, the answer
My
to that
feeling.
is unfortunately no, because the reason you wouldn't know what Hammond knows.
No, my thought was with the inflection of the voice, how she was using it. But no, don't worry,
Yeah.
don't worry.
Are you going to use
No.
luck?
Screw it. I'll use my last point of luck.
Cool.
Well, it has to be formidable, right?
Yeah. Oh, if you rolled that the first time, you could have.
Switched it. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're somewhat puzzled. Nothing stirs in your brain or anything. It doesn't revitalize anything at all. And you, the plan now is that we're going to do the downtime, okay, and get the downtime done, and then. Sure as that's done, if we've got time tonight, then I'll tell you what happens for the next part of the adventure. If not, we'll leave it to the week after and then do it then. So first things first, you've got 8 experience rolls. So the same rules apply as ever. So a new skill would be 5 skill rolls. Remember that you should have all your professional skills at the minimum level it can be, i.e. the just the 2 characteristics that you have to use. So you'll have that. We'll see how long people want to take on it and what other activities anybody wishes to do within Arid. And then we can go from there. So I'm going to do Purdy first, just so you have time to have a think about what you want to do. We'll do skill rolls first, and then we'll do anything else that you wish to do in the downtime. So Purdy's at your disposal. Okay, then. So she's got all the standard skills. Okay. Things like her highest one, custom is 56, first aid is at 90, native tongues at 65. Those are sort of the highest ones. Then she's got medicine at 98, astrobiology at 96, astrophysics at 66, commerce at 45, research at 58, politics at 35, and language identification at 35. She can learn a new skill if you wanted to. That's not a problem. If you wanted to learn a new skill, then it depends how you wanted to interact with everybody. You seem to be asking about sensors, so it might be worth giving her a sensor skill so she can start to work on that if you think that would be appropriate, or any other skills that you wanted to work in. So she's got 8. I'm just going to share. You should be able to see her character sheet now.
Yes, but only the bio and info page, at least for me.
Me too.
Let me reload it. Yeah, still like that.
So you can't see the front page.
No,
I just see the picture.
Just
Birdie.
yeah.
You don't. Oh,
which
you.
I totally already knew what she looked like.
So you don't have the. Let me just try that again.
No numbers.
Okay, what about now?
No, at least not for me.
Not for me.
She's got it. It can be edited and controlled by all players.
I'm gonna reload Roll20 maybe.
Let me.
No, don't, because it's not Roll20 because I can't do it either.
Yeah.
giving it a try. You know, restarting things works sometimes for me in life.
And let me just turn off my plug.
Turn off your plug.
New plug. Turn it off and turn it on again.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Something's doing a circle thing now, so let's see what.
Okay, then that's not a problem. Is there anything that you would like her to actually roll in to start off with?
Sensors makes complete sense.
Mm.
Okay, so she could actually use 5 of her skill points to gain the skill of sensors. If you think that would be a good idea for you, is everybody
Yeah.
in
And
agreement?
put 3 points into it to get
Yeah.
a little higher than base.
Yes, so she can do 5 points to learn the skill, and then she can do 3 points, 3 rolls for it. Do you want to know what it would be at creation? So it's intelligence and power.
Not bad.
But
28 plus 3 rolls wouldn't be the worst.
Mm.
Could be a fighting chance.
And then we can send her to that mine and find out what's down there.
So her skill roll to start off with will be 28. So do you want 3 rolls on that?
My vote.
Everybody happy?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so here's the first one. 59 will succeed, won't it? Yeah, because
Yes, it's the opposite. Yeah.
and her intelligence is 18. So that would be a 1d 4 plus 1, 4. So that would take it up to why is that 32? Here's her next roll. So she needs higher than 32,
Oh,
and it's not coming up for me.
it's 18.
18.
Oh, that was the first. Was that the first? Oh no, yeah. No. Why is that one before the 1d4? Oh, I rolled the skill. I rolled the skill. Yeah, that's fine. I see what I did. So yeah, so that would be so that's 1d4 plus 1, and then her third one will also be above. So that would be 5. I'll go up to 9, and then the last one she would have succeeded again. So that'd be 1d4 plus 1. That's another 4, so that's another 5, so that goes up to 14. So her sensor skill is now 42, which is good. That's a nice skill level to start that off with. Okay, Newman, you're up. Where would you like to spend your 8 skill points?
The first one ties into what I kind of want to be doing on my downtime a little bit. I want to put a point into my passion for my friend C.O.R.E. Because I wanted to be texting her about my experience here, texting war stories between each other. We're cute like that, I hope.
Okay.
And just to see if she has a read on why C.O.R.E might be on Arid.
Okay, then. So let's do the dice roll first, and then we'll come back to the downtime thing. So what's your passion for her at the moment?
It is a 53.
Ooh, go for it.
Here is that.
Don't forget to add your intelligence.
Oh, I thought you were having me roll the skill to see.
No, we'll do your skill improvement first.
Yes, 53. I'm not terribly intelligent. Very average.
But that's good enough. So 1d4 plus 1. Ooh.
I mean, we're
good.
cute.
Okay, now you can roll the roll.
Okay. That brings up to 55. Wait, why is there there's a temporary 10 in it. I'm not really sure why. So it should have been 43, not 53. But I mean, it's still
fine. Yeah.
Remove that.
Okay, then. So you chat to your ex-military pink-haired friend. You sort of like come in. She sort of like talks to you and sort of like says, "Oh, it's really I don't think it'd be a good idea. Why are they coming there?" She seems to be thinking about it, but because you didn't succeed, she says to you something like, "I'll look into it," and then she changes the subject and says, "You know, what do you know any good exercise for increasing triceps?" Because she thinks she's lacking in that area, and she wants to build up her muscles there. And you carry on talking like that. So you got 7 rolls left.
Well, that leads nicely into my next area. I'm putting 2 points into brawn,
Nice.
which is a 43 because I'd like to be stronger for my friends.
Okay.
It's not weird at all. Beating a 43.
That'll do. 1d4 plus 1. That'd be nice.
Better.
So that's now what, 46?
46.
So second one.
Add that in, and here we are.
That's
Oh
nice.
my gosh, my rolls are on fire except for the results.
Whoever's going last is getting really worried now because all the good rolls are going. Yeah, that's nice then. So 5 left. Yeah.
Correct. And I'm putting 1 in perception. Got to keep an eye out for those core people. It is a 53 on my perception.
Okay. You're on fire tonight with your. So that's.
Please be a 5. Please be a 5.
Oh,
No.
good enough.
What can you do?
Good enough. 4 left.
So that brings up to a 57. Very nice. I want to put 2 points into the law of combat because I think I got some good ideas on how to improve my shotgun game.
Yeah.
It's at a 73 right now. I should have done that first.
Oh, that just goes up by 1.
Yeah. But if I fail both these times, I'll be a nice clean 75. I'm at a nice clean 75. Which feels a lot better. And then my last 2 points I want to put into sleight of hand, which is just sleight here.
Yeah. So what's
it? It's out of 49, so
Okay.
I really want to practice more before I start stealing. Beating a 49.
That'll do. 1d4 plus 1. Nice. Is that it?
I have 1 more with this.
Okay.
And then that's it. Beating a 52.
Yeah.
Beating a 52.
Good enough. That's an improvement. That is an improvement.
54.
Okay.
That's me.
So, will there be anything else that you wish to do as I come back to you in the downtime? Apart from chatting up Carly
and looking up tricep exercises.
Yeah.
And I have one suggestion while I'd be working on my thing is for you to maybe go to the bar or something and try to get information of what C.O.R.E was doing there. Like,
yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Okay, then.
I'm down to do that.
So
I've got Streetwise. And...
we'll come back to that then.
Exactly.
So I got that in my head. So let's come to you, Hammond.
Okay.
What you got 8 skill rolls, so let's do your skill rolls first.
I initially had the idea of getting 1 more combat training of some sort, but I decided I'm going to wait on that because I don't even have I was planning to eventually get into sniping. So, but I started trying to figure out what that would be, but I'm going to work on other things first.
Yeah. To do that, you would have to have a combat skill that was probably something to do with maybe long-ranged things or something like that. But
it's something I have to think about.
Yeah.
What other 2 things that would entail that? So I'm just going to work on the other things first.
Okay.
First, I'm going to put 2 points in sensors.
Okay then. Cool.
2 rolls in sensors. So I'm going to first say I'm going to do rolls. Should I just roll from?
So what's your sensor skill at the moment?
34.
34. So you need to roll a percentile dice and get 44 or above. So you need to get above your skill level to improve. So that's
6.
fine. So that's a be 1d4 plus 1. We'll take it up. Hasn't come up for me. Oh, there it goes. 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. So add that on now. So your sensor skills are now
Should be. Sorry.
49. Was there 40? Was it 44?
It was 34. Yeah. So
34. So yeah. So 39 now. So and then your second point, you need 39 or above.
All right. Let's do it.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's good. So a 1d4 plus 1 for that. So that'll go up by further 2.
Perfect.
So that's 2 of the oil's gone. So you got 6 left.
Next one's gonna be jury rigging.
Okay. Yeah. So what's that currently at?
51.
51. So percentile dice. Add on your intelligence to get 51 or above.
Add on my intelligence.
Yeah. So you always add your intelligence to your initial roll. So
Got it. Okay.
So,
okay.
So all I've been doing is thinking what roughly your intelligence is. So that roll is actually, what's your intelligence?
16.
What's it? 60?
So that would be
your intelligence?
16. 16.
16. Yeah. So
yeah.
So if you notice when Mr. Pickles was rolling, he has it set up on the quick roller, so you just have it as a set dice roll. So you can keep doing it. So that's fine. So that's, what was that on? Jury rigging. So 1d4 plus 1.
Okay.
So that'll go up by 3.
Nice. That's something. Perfect. Something. All right. Next one is going to be insight.
Okay.
Let me get my insight up.
So what's your insight at the moment?
34.
34. So 1d100 plus your intelligence. You need above 34. Yep.
Perfect.
That's fine. So that's a 1d4 plus 1. So that'll go up by 2. And you have 4 more left.
Perfect. Let's do that really quick. Should get the right one. All right. The next one's going to be perception.
Okay.
Which is currently at, that's pretty bad, also 34.
34. So 1d10, 1d100, then add your intelligence, 34 or above.
Perfect. Nice.
Yeah. So, what? Hang on. What was the dice roll? Was the dice
65 was the dice roll.
Have I missed a dice roll? 1, 2, 3. How many percentile dice? Oh, hang on. They're up above. Yeah. Okay. So that'll go up by that'll go up by 5 for that one.
Nice. Money. Next one will be stealth.
Nice.
Just so that way I'm not the one that's gonna get shot.
Hammond's a jack of all trades.
Always.
It'll take you a while to do anything brilliantly.
Yeah. No, I'll start working like right now because I want to make sure I'm gonna get all the lower stuff up first because I'm more likely to get them up.
But I think you have a huge list of professional skills, don't you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And they're all pretty. Most of them are in the 60s. So like mechanics and whatnot. So I'm not too worried about them of not passing them and whatnot.
So this is going into stealth, did you say?
Yeah, I just have to.
Okay. So what's your stealth currently?
Oh, sorry. 26.
26. So roll a 1d100 plus your intelligence. You need 26 or above. Yeah, that's fine. So that's 1d4 plus 1. And 2 points into stealth.
Yay.
Is that it, or you got one more?
And I got
2, 3.
I should have 2 more, I think.
Hang on, let me just check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 more, I think.
And my next one's gonna be research, which is at 44 currently.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, that's fine. So 1d4 plus 1. Yeah, so that'll go up by 4 points. And your last one?
Yeah, last one is going to be deceit.
Okay. What's that currently at?
Sorry, sad. 39.
39, okay. Yeah, 1d4 plus 1.
Perfect.
That go up by 2. Okay, I'm going to move on to you, Minsk. So I get yours done before time's up, and then we can go back round and see what people want to do. So yeah, Minsk, you've got 8 rolls. What's going to be your plan? Any new skills to start off with?
No.
Okay.
Not yet. Not at this point in time.
Not yet.
Not yet. Now, Miss was a bit disappointed by how he didn't get as close as he wanted to that trooper, so he's going to put a point into piloting.
I thought you said pirating there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What the gangplank? Yeah.
So my pirate skill at the moment is 71.
All right.
This will be a fun one.
But you
92.
do it. You do it. 1d4
So,
plus 1.
Like a 1d4 plus, I'll get down lower, 1.
Nice.
4. So plus 4. So my next one is my sneaky shot because it was a little bit random last time I did it.
Okay.
So it's currently at 41. Now it's
Ooh, you're rolling well. 1d4
So
plus 1.
1 is 4.
Nice. You're
So
liking
plus
these 4. 6
love
more
4.
to go.
Where the next one is deceit.
Nice
Because,
one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's who I am.
I think that will.
56. It's 45. I've got a plus 1 there, isn't
Yeah. But that will deceit will really complement your role as the face.
it?
You know, because
exactly. It's nowhere to turn it on or turn it off.
Yeah. And so that's good. And 5 more left.
Endurance for 2. My endurance is currently at 35. And after that long slug out there, he wants more. So that's
1d4 plus 1. Or only a 2, though, not your strongest
2.
area.
No.
4
That's going
more.
to take you to 37. And here we go.
That's good
good
enough. 1d4 plus 1.
1d4 plus 1. Oh, plus 4.
Back
We're
to your 4s again.
Yay. Influence, which is currently at 66.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Nice. 1d4 plus 1.
Oh, plus 3.
69.
Insight, which is at 56.
Yeah, that's another good skill that'll complement your
Definitely, yeah.
face activities.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, plus 5.
5, yes.
Now,
1 more left.
I was going to do this, but after hearing Mr. Pickles do his contacts, I'm going to prove Jody Jacks,
Okay.
JJ.
Yeah, JJ.
Because I would like to, once we get back to our base of operations, I would like to call Jody Jacks up and say, and explain what we've seen and C.O.R.E on the planet, and just be careful.
Oh, yeah, like a friendly,
like
be
a
careful,
friendly warning.
captain
So
to captain talk.
Exactly. And if he hears anything, if anything's going on out there, let me know if you can.
Cool.
But just beware that C.O.R.E of interest in Arid.
Yeah. So roll. So what's your current contact?
Currently 45 at the moment.
45. Oh, it should be nice.
But not for long.
Oh, yes.
50.
Obviously, working with contacts and people is your forte, and your piloting skill. Okay, so roll you're not trying to get any information from JJ, aren't you? You're just sort of like
literally it's a warning. It's a friendly warning. And it's a case of, if you do hear anything, please let me know.
Yeah, and the reaction you get from JJ is a bit like Carly's reaction to Newman, in the sense that he's somewhat puzzled that Arid has always been seen as an installation or a settlement that there's being very low people there. Do you want to, or do you mention who you met, i.e. Melanie Fish?
Yes, I won't be coy about it. I will say that there was a core
Yeah,
hierarchy here of
and
Melanie Fish.
he sort of like, it seems he relates a tale that he's had interactions with Melanie Fish. She is the sector communications officer or PR officer. So it's not just the solar system that you're in, across the whole sector. And he sort of like warns you to be careful, that, you know, she's really climbed the ranks very, very quickly, and she has a lot of support behind her. He once saw her actually put somebody's starship and salvage and container cargo and paying customers into almost like an isolation for a period of 2 weeks when they weren't allowed to get off the ship. And no matter what, nobody could get the ruling reversed, and in the end she let it go. JJ talks about she's very much on a power streak. Yeah. But she's known in the sector. But JJ says he's not sure. He worries what she's doing out at Arid, because the Latvio system is not that good. There's nothing there apart from mines, and a lot of those are good. So he sort of like reflects back to you the be careful, and although she can make a great ally, she is a really bad enemy to have.
Ruthless.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Brilliant.
Thank you,
okay, Minsk, is there anything that you wish to do apart from that in the downtime?
I'm muting myself. Me, sorry.
Yeah.
Not really, no. I'd like to ask any people I know here, and I want to sort of go to the criminal underworld sort of level to find out if anyone knows this Bear character.
I
just heard of somebody called the Bear.
Yeah.
That's one thing I'd like to spend some time.
Okay, then. This would be a streetwise skill.
Well, I've got a knowledge of, I suppose, knowledge of the criminal underworld would be finding them, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So, is it knowledge of underworld? Is that what you have?
Yeah, knowledge of criminal underworld.
Okay, then. So you can work alongside Newman if that's agreeable, because therefore you can augment the two skills. So mainly Minsk, you will be finding out who to talk to, and then Newman will locate them if you see, and that part. So
I'm streetwise as well, but yeah.
So well, it's up to you. You can either roll your streetwise and use Newman
I'd like, I'd do my criminal underworld and let Newman do the.
Okay, then. So you can augment each other's to give you a better chance. So Minsk, what's your knowledge skill?
51.
And Newman, what's your streetwise?
65.
So if
augment for 13.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay then. What would you like to know about Bear?
Discussion, please. Who he is, who he works for, if he's got his own crew, or where he is.
Okay then. So what you find out is that 3 important things from that role. Number 1, he is a hirer of mercenaries. he's ex-military, but unfortunately got an injury in one of his arms, which made it not workable at all. And he didn't have the money to use cybernetic implantments or anything like that. So he turned, rather being the mercenary, he formed his own syndicate of people that can work for him. The other thing that you find out is that Arid is not necessarily his base. He can fly all over the system wherever jobs take him, but he has no morals or moral compass about who he hires or who he works with or who he doesn't work with, and very much that if the money's right, he will do it. And the final thing that you find out is that he died roughly 2 weeks or a month passed while traveling from one planet to another planet. His small shuttle exploded. There's lots of conspiracy theories out there about what did actually happen, but the most common one was that it was some kind of an internal explosion that destroyed the ship from the inside out. The only other thing that you find is an article relating to it published by C.O.R.E. That says lists the explosion as human error, meaning that either something was faulty on the ship or he was carrying something that he shouldn't be carrying, and you both sort of like think, why is that being announced? Why is C.O.R.E. getting into that?
Yeah, why are they involved?
Yeah, well, it should be just a local.
Yeah.
Whoever. Yeah.
And to make a statement like that, how did they?
Nothing to see here.
Yeah, exactly. How did they even know about it? And that's it. Anything else that Minsk would like to do?
Save up the new ship.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I've got a really
Bust on corners.
I've got a really nice ship lined up for you, and it's only because I've got the deck plan for it, but it looks really nice. It looks really. It's even got a sick bay for
sick people
for Purdy, which is important. Okay, Newman, is there anything else that you would like to do apart from Kylie, which you've done her?
Phrasing, but
and helping Minsk as well. Sorry.
Yeah, I believe.
Did I say something then?
No.
No.
Can I just say that I had to ask the Twitch chat what was junk?
Oh my god, no.
I actually had to put in. I put what is junk ? And then I put private parts ?
I'm going to send you a book of slangs.
And then Darth said junk, laugh out loud. So that's that.
Junk.
That's good. That's good.
Do you know, now that people mention it in that context, is it in Pitch Perfect, that film?
I never watched it.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody mentions their junk, and the character who's the lesbian says, "What are you saying about your junk?" Which now makes a lot more sense.
In context?
Now that I know, because I thought she was talking about rubbish. Like, what's your junk like in your house? Or something like that. But that now makes so much more sense. So thank you, Twitch chat. Okay, then. Hammond.
Yes. Hammond will be doing two things. One, he's going to try to get any information he can from the broken scanner that he stepped on.
Cool.
And then the second one, he's going to probably be working with Purdy and trying to identify what DNA samples they can from that corpse they found.
Okay then.
in the containers.
So first things first, roll your electronic skill to see what you can get from the actual data information, the data processor. Okay, yeah. So just to let you know, it is yours.
Yeah. Cool.
That you recognize some of the information on it, but you do notice that there's an area, almost like, you know, when you defrag a drive and there's all those gaps. There's a gap in the data, as if it's been wiped from it, and as if just one piece of data was wiped. Roll your insight skill.
Hopefully, this big jump in my insight is going to help me with this roll. No.
Okay then. And the other thing that you were doing was to work with Purdy about the DNA sample. Okay then.
Yeah.
So Purdy's skill, she can use her medicine for that. She can roll that herself. She doesn't need, but she can work alongside you to find it. Well, roll your computer skill.
This might be an interesting situation.
26. Okay then. She's just going to roll her medicine, which is at 98. Yeah, she does it, and you don't use a computer to decode anything. You use a computer to find out information. And this is a suitable point to just leave it at this point, because it's just about 10 o'clock. It confirms that her name, okay, was actually Silent Angel. It wasn't a code name or anything. Her first name is actually Silent. Her middle name is Angel, and she was known as Silent Angel. Her final name, not a final name, her surname was just quite boring with Jones. But the body out there was definitely your Silent Angel. And just before I bring the session to a close, I'd just like to inform you about a bit of news that is spreading around Arid at the present moment in time. It seems that there was an unknown explosion out in the desert, and the rumor is that one of the mining hubs got destroyed. People talk about heavy weapons, people talk about bombardments from space, and there's a lot of conspiracy theory, but you actually get the coordinates, and they match the coordinates that you have on a piece of paper. The mining hub and the entrance have been completely and utterly wiped out. They're just rubble at the present moment in time. So
darn it! Now we can't use it to make a home base and or a makeshift hotel.
What
we
else?
can if we find our laser thingies.
Yeah. And that's it. So thank you very much. That brings that adventure nicely to a close, so we can start off next Saturday. I've got the next adventure up, so we can carry on with M Space. I think it'll be good to do that for one more adventure, just so we get back into some combat, so we make sure that we've got that underneath our hat, so we know what we're doing. And then we can have a jump back to Mithras, and then we can continue with that. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I certainly did, and some really nice skill rolls and some legwork done there. So hopefully, and now you've had your initial interaction. Say baptism by fire.
By fire, yes.
Yeah, well, at least you now know what or who the core is and how dangerous, hopefully, how dangerous they are to mess with. That is quite important now. Okay, thank you to everybody who listened to the stream as well. We really do appreciate your support in chat and keeping and answering all the questions, so I know the answers to things, which is very helpful. We'll be back possibly next Saturday once we've all checked our calendars. But until then, look after yourself, stay safe, but most importantly, stay positive. Have fun, everyone. See you all later. Say goodbye, people.
Bye.
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 Bye.